Welcome back, Truth Seeker. It is Tuesday, December 16th, 2025, and tomorrow, the first day of Saturnalia, the anniversary of the first Jesuit Pope's birthday, Pope Francis. Donald Trump is going to address the nation, and what's anticipated in that address is him talking about how he's going to seek a third term, and if he is reelected, he will be giving Americans $2,000 stimulus checks from the wealth accumulated through the tariffs. And realize this is essentially giving us back the money that we're now paying extra on products due to tariffs, which are taxes. And not to mention, any money given back, since we're already way in debt, is going to be given back to us with interest on top that we'll also be expected to pay. Of course, the reason things are so expensive right now is because of the inflation from the mass printing of money. So we're going to go through a lot of things here. We're going to talk about this and more, but I want to show you what's so interesting about the timing of Trump's announcement number 47. And by the way, it was 1947 when the term limit was put on with the 22nd Amendment. That happened in 1947, saying no more three-term presidencies. 2 is the limit. That was in 47. Now Trump wants to reverse it as number 47. But here's the kicker. There's something we've been talking about for a long time, since 2016, I believe, maybe 2017. We caught wind of how there's a Simpsons episode of Ivanka Trump running for president in 2028. And remember in The Simpsons, the first female president is Lisa Simpson, and she follows a Trump presidency. Look at this ritual today, you guys. So from Trump taking office from the second time to today, the day he makes this announcement, is 47 weeks in a day. And as we know in gematria, Trump equals 47. Tariffs is also 47. And don't forget, Trump, he instituted the first tariffs this time around 47 months since the last tariffs he instituted, which was in his first term, and also exactly 47 weeks after the anniversary of the publishing of Wealth of Nations by the father of economics, Adam Smith, where in the book, he argues for why tariffs should rarely ever be used because they're destructive and they can even lead nations to go to war. Remember, pretty much everything going on with Trump is a 47 ritual. Phrases like drug boat equal 47. Trump now wants to get rid of Maduro when the U.S. tried to get rid of Chavez, his predecessor, who was removed from power for 47 hours, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, again, Trump equals 47 like tariffs. He's proposing to use the tariff money to give us $2,000 checks if reelected. Notice today, the day that he makes this announcement, it's 47 days after his daughter's birthday, Ivanka, who will turn 47 in 2028, just before the November 7th election. And if you're new here at gematria, there are 4 base ciphers of the English language. It's all elementary. It's the alphabetic order. A is 1 up to Z is 26. It's the alphabetic order with numerology. It's the reverse alphabetic order. Z is 1 back to A is 26. And it's the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. Notice how Ivanka Trump and Lisa Simpson have this perfect overlap. And one of those values is 146, kind of like Trump's birthday, the 14th day of June. The 2028 election will be 146 days after Trump's birthday. The point I'm making is Trump is an actor, and these scripts are written long ago. And that is why everything is so numerically perfect. And it's also why we told you 4 years in advance why Trump was going to get reinstalled in this election. But here, let's go back to this in case you don't know about this. So The Simpsons has done a lot with Trump. And they do have an episode where Ivanka is running for president in 2028. People got their Ivanka 2028 pins. Ivanka Trump will be 47 years old. She'll turn 47 just before the election. And again, Lisa Simpson. Remember how they compared what Kamala wore on Inauguration Day to Lisa Simpson as well? But yeah, Lisa Simpson and Ivanka Trump, quadruple overlap. Remember, 47 is not an arbitrary number. President, White House, government authority, Republican, Democrat, DC, the list goes on. They're all 47. Biden was in the federal government for 47 years before he became president himself, not to mention he was the 47th vice president and took office with 47-year-old Obama. Trump and Obama are also linked at the hip. So anyway, to take this from the top, Trump's little ritual here. He makes this announcement today, 185 days after his birthday. Donald John Trump, 185, just like mathematics is 185. Tomorrow, the address will be 186 days after his birthday. Again, we know who runs the show, the people whose calendar we're on. That's the Catholic Church. Vatican Hill, 186. You could also say tomorrow would be not just 186 days after Trump's birthday, but you could also say it's the 187th day of his age. Washington, D.C., 187, like Society of Jesus. And from the administration taking office to today is also 330 days. The key numbers there are 33. Remember, Masonry equals 33. So does Trump's original family surname. If you don't know, they changed their name to Trump. It was Drumpf. If you look up the Trump family, they were Drumpf when they came to America, which is 33. Like federal, like secrecy, like order, like tariff, the singular. And again, very special number, obviously, to the Masons. The first degree of Freemasonry is the entered apprentice, Trump the apprentice. Don't forget the apprentice equals 211, which is the 47th prime. But yeah, again, 47 weeks in a day, 47 days after Ivanka's birthday. Again, the upcoming election will be 146 days after Trump's birthday, which looks like his birthday, 14/6. And now, remember when Trump said he's grateful for, I forget how he phrased it, stupid people, dumb people, not educated people? The only people who would want another check from the government are people who just don't get it. Those checks cost us a lot more in the long run. I explained this before we got a single check during the time of Cooties 19, where he was the father of the jab. I said, just watch. Once they start sending out those checks, everybody, and I use my father as the example. I know exactly what I said the day they announced the check. I said, somebody like my dad who's, worked his whole life, not made a lot, and has $400,000 in savings to show for it. That $400,000 is probably going to be worth, I don't know, $300,000, maybe even worse, $200,000. And that's exactly what it is. You can buy about half as much stuff as you could before. Things have nearly doubled in prices from homes to a lot of the commodities at the grocery store. Meanwhile, TVs and computers have pretty much stayed close to the same price because they want us to have the screens. That's what they use to program us. But yeah, also Trump is seeking to essentially end the 22nd Amendment, and that happened in 47. Go figure. Go figure. Congress approved the 22nd Amendment March 21st, 1947. And by the way, the 2028 election, Trump would be 81 years old. Don't forget that President Trump equals 81. So does President Biden. Remember, Biden supposedly beat him in 2020 with a record 81 million votes. And then when Kamala got the torch passed to her, she raised a record 81 billion in 24 hours. Or was it million? I can't remember if it's billion or million. I mean, this money's become worth so little. It's like, what's the difference at this point? Actually, a lot, but it was one of the two. It was 81 something. I think it was billion, though. At least so we were told. Okay, so I want to go through everything else that's buzzing around. Former NFL player, coach, college coach at Stanford, where John Elway went, announced dead. The news broke Sunday, the day of the NFL games. The death was announced Sunday, 91 days after the current Pope's birthday. And we use that 91 in a big way to take advantage of the rigged NFL. But Paul Wiggin coached John Elway at Stanford. And Stanford's obviously in the Bay Area where the Super Bowl is this year. Remember the last time the Super Bowl was hosted by the 49ers, the Broncos beat the Panthers. And don't forget who told you exactly what was going to happen in that Super Bowl in week 3, why it was going to be Broncos over Panthers and Von Miller the MVP. We had it all figured out in that week 3. But remember what I talked about this offseason? Elway had that weird thing where he was golfing with his agent, and his agent died while golfing with Elway, and the story didn't make any sense. Said a golf cart accident. I mean, it's hard to imagine how you would die in a golf cart accident unless you're some fancy course overlooking the cliffs and you had too many drinks and you drove off the cliff. But it was very vague how this agent died with the golf cart accident. But I pointed out that day, I said, that's interesting because he died on April 30th, the Church of Satan's birthday. And the Church of Satan was founded in San Francisco. And remember, in gematria, San Francisco equals 122. It's on the 122nd meridian. Satanic equals 122. National Football League equals 122. The day that this news broke was the day that John Elway's Denver Broncos became 12-2, the only team in the league with that record. Not to mention it was a rematch of Super Bowl 32 where Elway beat the Packers. And so Paul Wiggin, the news did break December 14th, but he had died 2 days earlier on 12-12, like the Broncos were the first team to get the 12th win in the league. Notice it says his playing years were from 57 to 67. He coached Kansas City, who got eliminated from the playoffs. They came into the game 6-7. Andy Reid 67. Kansas City equals 67. The thing this year is 6-7, and they act like they don't know what it means. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people don't know what it means, but we know what it means. Again, been explained all year. Look up the song where the 6-7 thing came from. He's talking about killing his ops. Killer equals 67, like blood sacrifice, like human sacrifice. So this guy who coached the Chiefs is announced dead before the games were played, with the Chiefs coming into that day 6-7. And you can see he's born on the 322nd day of the year, November 18th, that old 322, going back to Skull and Bones, like Walter Camp, the Skull and Bones member who's credited with American football, the father of American football, Walter Camp. But yeah, the AFC West, a division he's very much connected to. Broncos 12-2 the day of the news. Chiefs eliminated, going from 6-7 to 6-8, like caskets go 6 feet deep and are 8 feet long. And you can go back and watch the video when Elway's agent died. I mean, the big emphasis was that he died on the Church of Satan's birthday. Once upon a time, Elway got wasted by the Niners in the Super Bowl, 10-55. Satan is 55-10. And this death, it came 59 days before Elway's upcoming birthday, or a span of 60 days. And this death happened on the 59th anniversary of the Church of Satan's establishment. Not to mention Elway was born in 60 in light of Super Bowl 60 upcoming. And yeah, from the date of Super Bowl 59 to the death was also 80 days. And you can see Satan's got the 55, 10, and 80 thing. So, hold on. Sweet lady's blowing up my phone. Hold on, I got to answer her question or she'll be mad. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, this Paul Wiggin thing is very interesting. And for a little bit more on it, from Elway's birthday to his death, and remember, this guy coached Elway. From Elway's birthday to his death, December 12th was 167 days. The upcoming Super Bowl is LX, 167. Super Bowl LX is also 50, like San Francisco. And run it in reverse, Super Bowl LX is 58. The death happened 58 days before the upcoming Super Bowl in San Francisco. Pretty interesting. And from Elway's agent dying on the Church of Satan's birthday to the death was a span of 227 days, the 49th prime, like the 49ers are hosting, and NFL and Super Bowl's 49. So keep these things in mind. A lot of times in the National Fix League, who racks up the most bodies over the year ends up in the Superb Owl. And I did do a video on this yesterday, and it's the second time that my phone did some crazy audio thing. I don't know what's going on with that glitch. It's the second time I've seen it happen. It's like recording another room in my house. I cannot figure out how it's doing that. Both times I was recording in my office with the door closed, and I don't know, it's kind of creepy. But yeah, the video I did on Mahomes' injury yesterday, we'll do it one more time. We called Sunday the Super 17 date. The date numerology path was 17. It was 17 days left in the year. A lot of 17s in the NFL. The premier game on Sunday went to OT 17-17. Phillip Rivers returned after a long hiatus, number 17. Not to mention it was National Alabama Day, and he's from Alabama. But Mahomes goes down in a similar injury to Brady, who he's compared to, who went down 17 years ago. And who replaces him? Gardner Minshew, number 17, who played at Washington State. This ritual happened on George Washington's birthday. And don't forget that Alex Smith was mentoring Mahomes when he came in the league, and he got sent to the Washington team. Again, Minshew played at Washington State. And when Minshew came into the league, he wore 15 like Mahomes. And this happens in NFL Week 15. So you have all this 17 business. And when Mahomes goes down, there's a minute 53 on the clock, looking something like 153, which is the 17th triangular number. And it's also 113 seconds, which we'll get to, because Mahomes was going for his 113th win, 113 days after Kobe Bryant's birthday anniversary. Instead of LA, the Kobe City wins, just like how the Rams won and became 11-3. And we loved the Rams a lot. And we loved Kobe Bryant on the Seahawks to get an interception. And that's how the game ended. Kobe Bryant interception. But yeah, if you didn't know, there's a Kobe Bryant in the NFL who plays for the Seahawks, who also became 11-3, 113 days after Kobe Bryant's birthday anniversary. Think about that. Kobe Bryant puts away the game with an interception to make his team 11-3. When Kobe Bryant, the big ways, won 13, and the small way 41, like the Rams won with 41. And by the way, yesterday was 113 days after Kobe Bryant Day, the day after his birthday, August 24th, and we saw how the Kobe Bryant numbers lined up in the Dallas Stars game versus the LA Kings last night. If the Dallas won, and we said, I think Dallas wins the game 4-1. Dallas beat LA last night 4-1 for another Kobe Bryant tribute. And this is what we do. This is what we do with this knowledge. We take advantage of the rig, and we improve our financial position in the world. Or if you don't want to do that, at least take advantage of the knowledge and stop getting screwed and wasting your Sundays and Saturdays with rigged college and pro football and allowing this matrix of bullshit to steal your energy, the tragedies, the stories, the division. Again, see through it, be Neo in the matrix. That's essentially what this knowledge enables you to do. But yeah, the 113 seconds, we're going to come back to that. Actually, we're just going to skip to it right now. Taylor Swift. And again, they've been scripting the whole NFL and the Chiefs around Taylor Swift ever since her and Travis Kelce got together. And remember, we were the ones pointing this out and patting our pockets in a big way off it. And the next thing you have Bill Maher on HBO talking about, these conspiracy theorist nerds online, are you hearing it? They're saying that the NFL's rigging games around Taylor Swift. Yeah, they absolutely are. Again, her full name, Taylor Allison Swift, 104. She started dating Travis Kelce in the 104th NFL season. Swift alone, 58. That was the year of Super Bowl 58, which Travis Kelce and the Chiefs won. We love Travis Kelce for the 131st total touchdown in that game of his career, like Super Bowl 131. Anyway, coming back to this, the Brady and Mahomes comparison. Brady tore his ACL 17 years earlier on September 7th. Keep in mind, it's kind of like 9-7, 97, the 25th prime here. We're in 2025, but 98 days before the Mahomes ritual, which is also 14 weeks, like it happened on the 14th. The word end equals 14. Taylor Swift had just put out the end of an era. NFL equals 14. KC equals 14. But 98 days, New England Patriots 98, like Kansas City Chiefs, like Patriots, like Tom Brady. And remember, when Brady got hurt, Matt Castle became the quarterback. Where did Matt Castle get sent to after he played for the Patriots? To the Chiefs. And I didn't even look at how this might have lined up with Matt Castle, this ritual. Let's just check that out real quick, too, because they might have done something with that. Matt Castle. So this was 2 days ago. So it was 211 days after his birthday, the 47th prime. He is 43 years old right now. Interesting. 43 is the 14th prime. Notice the gematria of torn ACL, 106. This is the 106th NFL season. Mahomes came into this season with 106 wins. And that's how torn ACL is 83 like football. Brady's birthday is August 3rd, 83. Torn ACL and football are 29 with numerology applied. 29 points in the game when it happened. In reverse, you got a difference, but this ritual did happen 133 days after Brady's August 3rd birthday. Don't forget Mahomes' birthday is September 17th, which is the NFL's birthday. The NFL was born on the 133rd birthday of the Constitution. Football, government, president, White House, they all equal 133. Remember in 2015 when Trump took the stage for the first time, Fox News put up the stat, Trump, the 133rd richest person in the world, goes on to win the rigged presidency. Mahomes played at White House, Texas in high school. He endorsed Trump the night before the rigged selection last year. But yeah, torn ACL in football, both 43 as well. Brady was 43 years old when he beat Mahomes in Super Bowl 55. He went down to Florida, which equals 43. A reminder that Bush was the president when Brady started winning after the Patriot Act. George W. Bush, number 43, elected in Florida, 43, where his brother was the 43rd governor and their daddy was the 43rd vice president. But yeah, Taylor Swift puts out the end of an era, and then this happens 2 days later, right? 113 in that title, 113 seconds on the clock, 113 days after Kobe's birthday, which matters because remember, Kobe being Bryant equals 54, dead the Sunday before Super Bowl 54, where Mahomes won his first ring. Don't forget, Joe Montana equals 54 too, and it was between the Montana teams, the Niners and the Chiefs. It was the 2019 season. Montana wore 19 for the Chiefs. Chiefs beat the Niners again 4 years later in the 54th Super Bowl of the modern era, which was Super Bowl 58. Went to overtime 1919, first team to win back-to-back in 19 years. But yeah, perfect script. I doubt his ACL's torn. If it is, it's black magic, but it didn't look like an ACL tearing type of play. It looked like a routine play. Shoved to the ground. So anyway, that was that. Also in the news, General Hospital icon Anthony Geary, dead at 78. And notice how it says 8-time daytime Emmy winner. He died on the first day of Hanukkah, which goes for 8 days. December 14th had 8 date numerology. December 14th, remember when you spell out December 14th, it equals 187. Like the homicide code, it's a fateful day every single year. This year you had the Rob Reiner family, the family murder. You had the Hanukkah shooting. Every year, December 14th, just fateful things in the news, year after year. The day in history that George Washington died. George Washington equals 187, like December 14th equals 187 when spelled out as words. And even when you spell out 1214 as words, it equals 187. We all know what happened 13 years ago on that day at that sandy place. This time it's Sandy Beaches for the Hanukkah shooting. He died 199 days after his birthday, the 46th prime, like sacrifice is 46, like execution. They saved the news for the day after his death, which would have been 200 days after his birthday, or the 201st day of his age, which goes without saying. We'll talk more about 201 in a minute. But yeah, Anthony Geary also in the news. This is in the news. There was a murder of a young teenager earlier this year, back in August. And yesterday, the news broke that they arrested 3 people for the murder of the 16-year-old who was killed on August 2nd. So think about this. This is about the murder of a 16-year-old. And they named 2 of the suspects, and they said the third suspect arrested is a 16-year-old minor. But this arrest came on the day leaving 16 days left in the year. It came 136 days after the murder, which is the 16th triangular number. They said the murder was on Drexel Avenue, which equals 136. And they said the murder happened at the corner of 160th, 160, and Drexel Avenue. And remember, in the Rig March Madness tournament, the first time a 16 beat a 1 was the 136th meeting of a 16 and 1, University of Maryland, Baltimore County over Virginia. And we had it all figured out. We said this shaming ritual is going to give Virginia the championship next year. And sure enough, Virginia won the championship next year. Tony Bennett, their coach, stayed on 89 losses. Virginia the big way, 89. Virginia the small way, or Virginia Cavaliers the small way, also 89. When Tony Bennett, not to be confused with the musician who died by the numbers, won the championship with Virginia, he stayed on 89 career losses. And that was a crazy tournament. I still remember because it was like 2 or 3 games that looked like Virginia was just toast. And it felt like it was magic for them to even win the game. I still remember. I just couldn't believe it. Because we were very confident about Virginia winning, but like 3 times I was like, oh, God, I'm wrong. But then I wasn't wrong. Anyway, it's just the point is, from the rig sports to the scripted news, it's the same number magic over and over and over again. And notice the top headline says sickening with the parentheses around it. Again, when the media does that, they're talking about this murder was in Phoenix, Illinois. Sickening equals Phoenix. 91, there's that 46 again, like Genesis 46 about sacrifice. They gave us the second name of the shooters. They told us it was a father and son shooting. Remember, it was 11 days before Christmas when Jesus was 11, the father and the son. And the next thing you know, it's later that same day. And you got Rob Reiner and his wife dead, and it's blamed on the son, another father-son thing. Notice the father's 50 and the son's 24, right? We'll come back to that. See how perfect this all is. But look at the names. Sajid Akram and Naveed Akram, 201. Okay? I mean, if you're new here, I've been dragging my feet, not finishing a book I literally could have finished 4 years ago on why this 201 number is so important to the cabal and all their ritual magic that they hypnotize the masses with. But the chief of police there, where this happened, Malcolm Lanyon, 201, as it was pointed out, Bondi Rescue show about that same beach, ran 201 episodes. Notice this chief of police, Mr. 201, just took office on October 1st, 2025. And that means from him taking office to the killing was 74 days later. Killing 74 like a cult, like Masonic, like Jewish, like holiday, like active shooter. And also they said that rabbi, the one whose name means penis, Schlanger, he's from London, and there was a stabbing in London 74 days earlier, and stabbing's also 74, like how the Ides of March is the 74th day of the year to remember the stabbing of Caesar, and the Academy Awards are going to be on Ides of March this upcoming year, and you know they're going to pay tribute to Rob Reiner because it's all one big sick joke. But yeah, think about it. This 201 chief of police takes office 74 days earlier, killing number that we talked about 1,000 times. Again, my last book, Number Games. I began Number Games by talking about why the World Trade Centers were on the 74th meridian and why they simulated Cooties 19 on the day leaving 74 days left in the year. But I know I begin this book by laying it down with all this killing in 74 examples, just from recent headlines at the time. This was written in 2020. But and even in my first book, Letters and Numbers, I talk about a million miles of information about 74 and killing. It's just the same thing over and over and over, and why they love to kill on holidays, like 3 of the first 5 presidents in the U.S. did on 7/4. So, and by the way, again, just the base ciphers, people are like, oh, he's using multiple ciphers. And the multiple ciphers are revealing all the layers of the ritualism. Look at how their names also equal 159, like mass shooting, like Providence. Remember, they put out Naveed Akram's driver's license, and he lives on Brown Road. Well, we're also focused on the Brown University shooting in Providence when the Heisman Trophy is named after went to Brown, and that happened the night of the Heisman Trophy ceremony. If you missed all my work on that, get caught up. It's sad that that video got over 7K views. That's pretty good for my channel these days. Once upon a time, that would have been horrible, but I guess we'll take what we can get. Anyway, just this 159 number also fits in. And don't forget, Brown University was established on the 15th of September. Last year, that was the day of the shooting hoax for Trump on the golf course. Donald Trump also 159, like Scottish Rite, who's of Scottish ancestry. And the Secret Service was 159 years old at the time of that hoax last year, as well as the July 13th hoax where they posed with the Secret Service under the 13 stripes on the 13th of the month. And don't forget, the Masons like 13 too. And here we are on the anniversary of Sandy. Sandy, you know what? Notice the father's name, who was the new detail yesterday, Sajid Akram, also 33, like the highest degree of the Scottish Rites, 33. Remember, Bondi Beach is on the 33rd parallel south, and the shooting happened on the 33rd day of the Superior General's age. And shout out to Sebastian, who just shared with us that old Masonic text about how the G in the Masons logo is in tribute to the General of the Jesuits, which we already knew. The Jesuit headquarters is the Church of the Jesus, spelled with the G. And again, 33rd day of his age, this all went down. But yeah, Masonry, Sajid Akram, false, FLAG, police, federal secrecy order, all 33, and the list goes on. Same numbers over and over. So yeah, I mean, I haven't heard anybody from Brown University or USC trying to claim the scholarship money yet to disprove that all this stuff's just a coincidence day after day. The offer is going to stand. It doesn't expire. Pretty sure nobody can ever debunk this work. People can deny it. I see people denying it all the time, but you can't debunk it because this is what they're doing. The cabal practices Kabbalah, and these numbers matter to Kabbalah. Okay, Pam Bondi. Let's just start calling it that. Pam Bondi, Bondi Beach, 1,312 rituals with Trump. How about another? Trump had to weigh in on the Bondi Beach shooting. It just happened to be 312 days after Pam Bondi took office, after Trump got 312 electoral college votes, and the Pope died on the 312th day of his age, and the Pope's name, Jorge Mario Bergoglio, of course, equals 201, the big Jesuit number, but also 312 in reverse. So go figure that her full name is 54, like Bondi Beach, like Chris Minns, the premier who's in charge of the situation, or who was in charge of narrating what happened there. And notice her, Pamela Joe Bondi, is also 72, like Jesuit order, like Brown 72. And the Brown shooting happened 72 days from the anniversary of the death of who the Heisman's named after, and yada, yada, yada. Don't forget that President Trump, who's Jesuit educated, also equals 72, as does President Biden, who's also Jesuit educated. This came 27 days after Pam Bondi's birthday, born November 17th. Again, the shooter, they put out his driver's license, and he lives on Brown Road. Again, Brown's in focus. Bondi Beach is in focus. What are the odds? What are the odds? Again, it's just one big old interconnected psychological operation, as we covered in a major way Sunday night. You know, I got to make another point too. I've been watching the series on HBO about it, and I know the concluding episode came out this past Sunday night, and I've watched about the first maybe 5, maybe 10 minutes of that episode, but it begins with a gruesome scene, the demon that's taken over the clown, and you learn watching the series how the demon became the clown. And I've never read the Stephen King books about it, so I don't know how closely the show is related to the Stephen King books. But it shows that, again, the clown torments this town every 27 years. Remember, Saturn's return begins every 27 years. The Grim Reaper's scythe comes from the sickle of Saturn. Again, Saturn's return, if you don't know, it begins in the 27th year. The pinnacle is the 30th year. And then it's a 3-year back. So by the end of the 33rd year is the exit part of Saturn's return. So it's a 6-year period, like Saturn's the 6th planet. Remember, in Gematria, Saturn equals 21, which is the 6th triangular number. And, you know, it's represented with the cube, which is a 6-sided object. But anyway, the demon torments this town every 27 years. And if you don't want the new It show to be ruined, again, you can still watch. It's not going to ruin it that much, but what's happened in the show is a boy who was nearly eaten by the demon. I believe it was 54 years earlier. He's now an older man, and he's a higher up in the U.S. military. And he learned about this demon that lives in the woods outside of this town of Derry, Maine, from a young native girl when he barely survived as a child, and it stayed with him forever. But now he's a top brass in the military, and he has this idea of unleashing the demon, which is contained to this town. And it was the native people who figured out how to contain the demon to a certain area so it can't get outside of there. But this man, what he wants to do is he wants to spread the demon across the nation, because he wants the fear that the demon instills to control the populace, because he explains in a certain section of the show that fear is the ultimate containment tool, and people who are scared are more obedient people, and people less likely to go out and create chaos. So anyway, what's happening in the last episode of the show, which I've only begun to... the military figured out a way to figure out where one of the containment things was for the demon, and they destroyed it. And I believe they say there's 13 containment beacons, so they destroyed one of 13. And by destroying that, it's allowed the demon to slip out further. But now the demon has gone right into the school, okay? That's the point I'm going to make. In the last episode, remember, HBO loves to sync up their shows with what's going on in the news. And I've talked about this for years. I'm like, look at how this episode of their hospital thing just came out. It's all about, you know, the dumb parents who think they know more about cooties jabs than the science. And here's HBO has an episode. Anyway, and also, God, what's their thing? Measles. Anyway, it's been numerous times with HBO and the release of their shows. Now it syncs up with what's in the news. But anyway, this last episode, which is going on while the Brown campus is in fear because there's a manhunt for the shooter. Again, this demon goes right into the school. it's a gruesome scene, just rips the head off the principal and blood goes everywhere. And then he uses the intercom system. And because if you don't know, the demon in it can mimic anything, uses the principal's voice to get all the students to come to the auditorium, where he then, whatever he does, like some demonic hypnosis to take them all off to the meat grinder to eat them all. Anyway, this is how this whole episode begins, like this really brutal thing. And then right away in the opening minutes, it's showing that the demon's already eaten one of the kids, and the limb of the child's over there with some meat hanging off. It's a really messed up beginning. But I'm like, look at this. I mean, like, people are watching this and not having a clue and not getting it. You know, a military wanting to spread demonic energy to keep people in fear, to control them. And realize when the military guy is explaining that this is a plan, another guy who's under him in the military thinks his plan is horrible and says, are you kidding me? You're going to allow this demon, which eats children, to spread across the nation? And the guy yells back at him, we're soldiers. We accept collateral damage. So to him, you know, a few children getting eaten, and it's actually more than a few, every so often is okay if it achieves the idea of everybody's living in fear and in greater control by the government. I mean, just think about this in light of what's going on, you guys, about how they really do create needless fear every day to control people. And almost all this is military agendas, including Cooties 19, which was simulated the day of the military world games. But yeah, it's messed up to understand it so well. And it's also annoying to have so few people care. And most people think it's a coincidence or there's something wrong with me. You're just connecting dots. Am I really just connecting dots that aren't there? Brown connected to the Heisman, the night of the Heisman ceremony, how they synced it up with O.J. Simpson and the Bills the next day when the Bills had to shelter in place because they were staying at the hotel across the street from the Brown. And then how, you know, the Hollywood director stabbed to death in the same neighborhood as Nicole Brown, supposedly by OJ, 613 days after OJ dies, when her body was found on June 13th, 6/13, the day leaving 201 days left in the year, on and on and on. Anyway. Yeah, I'll finish the rest of the last It episode, but I just got it right away. Just turned on, I was like, this is crazy. This messed up scene inside of a school. How far is Derry, Maine from Providence, Rhode Island? Is Derry, Maine a real place? I mean, I know Maine and Rhode Island aren't too far from each other. Is Derry, Maine a real place, or is it a fictional place in the series? Derry, Maine. It's a fictional I wonder what it's based on. Oh, it's based on Bangor, Maine. Okay. Bangor, Maine to Providence, Rhode Island. Let's see how far away these places are. See how far of a drive this is. It's not that far. 292 miles. Right down I-95. How about that? Okay. Anyway, coming back to just all the stuff going on in the news. I didn't know what Hanukkah was based on. I actually had never looked up in my life what Hanukkah is based on. I've just, as a child, I've always associated it with, oh yeah, it's the Jewish version of Christmas that lasts even longer. That was always my understanding of Hanukkah. But as it says here, Jews celebrate Hanukkah, the festival of lights, to commemorate the rededication of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, which is Herod's temple, after the Maccabees' victory over the Greek Syrian oppressors in the 2nd century BCE, and a miracle where a small amount of oil for the temple's menorah miraculously burned for 8 days. It's a celebration of religious freedom, the triumph of light over darkness, and rededication to Jewish values marked by lighting the menorah, eating oily foods, and playing games. Remember, Tom Brady always kept a menorah in his house. That's a story you guys can look up. But last night, number 8 gets his first win in primetime with the Steelers, 8th win of the year during Hanukkah. Aaron Rodgers. The hero in the Bondi Beach massacre, the footage they've shown over and over, the guy going after the gunman. He's a Syrian, right? So this has to do with the Greek Syrian oppressors. Doesn't that seem strange? Doesn't that seem like it's paying tribute? Doesn't it seem like what they do every day, just putting these riddles down, paying tribute to history, intertwining the numbers? And remember, Hanukkah did start this year on a date with 8 numerology. Funny enough, doesn't work out like that every year, only so often. I'd say there's a 1 in 9 chance of that happening, but that's how it was this year on the day of this Hanukkah tragedy. And remember, Syria is very important to the Bible. Of course, it's a biblical place. But yeah, also, yeah, when I did that big presentation the other night on how all these stories were interconnected, I didn't have that the Bills were sheltering in place next to Providence's Brown University. I was overlooking that detail. Remember, the next day, the Bills became 10-4 and the Browns became 10-4. The Browns were playing the Bears. Brown University's nickname is the Bears. Bears equals 18, like Caleb Williams was 18, who's a Heisman winner who went to USC, like OJ. And don't forget who they killed, the former Heisman winner for USC. At the same time, Caleb Williams won it, and he had the same CW initials as Caleb Williams. Gets vicious. But, yeah, again, OJ dead on 10-4. Rob Reiner equals 104. And don't forget the Patriots fell to 11-3, right? OJ Simpson 1-1-3 as the Bills become 10-4. 66 points in the game. Mass shooting equals 66. Okay, so yeah, if you missed that video, it's probably worthwhile. You don't need to watch all 3 hours. I mean, I'm pretty much done presenting within, I don't know, probably the first 30 minutes, and then I open up the phone lines. There was a great call, though, at the end of that stream. And yeah, just the fact they had to say 15 killed, and while there's all this NFL Week 15 stuff's going on, and again, the first victim was Rabbi Eli Schlonger, which translates to snake, in the year of the snake. Again, 41 weeks after the prime minister's birthday, who's blamed for not putting out the fire on anti-Semitism in Australia. And realize, you guys, you can see that since the Charlie Kirk death, right, up through now, I've never seen the floodgates so open on social media for blaming Jews and Israel. I'm seeing a lot of people do it. They're getting big views. They're not getting censored. To make a point, I got to pull up Brian's channel, you guys. Brian had 20,000 subscribers on his Disturbing Illusion channel. Keep in mind, Brian used to have 500,000 subscribers on High Impact Flicks, but he had 20,000 subs. Okay, he had 20,000 subs when Charlie Kirk happened. You can see he's up to 65.7K subs now. He did 3 videos the day of the Charlie Kirk thing, and I was paying attention. His best video got 20,000 views. It was short, showing the arrest of the supposed shooter at the time, who was the same guy who was used the day of the 9/11 to talk about the plane hitting the towers. Remember, that was the day before September 11th. But his other videos had like 5,000 views and 7K views that day. His 3 did on Charlie Kirk. The best performing one was just showing the footage of the arrest, which got 20K. Remember, my first video got 50,000 views, and then it got taken down for hate speech. In all those videos, Brian was already on the Jew banker and the Zionist thing. And realize his channel's been able to go from 20K subs that day up to 65.7. That's pretty good growth in a little more than 3 months. I was just on the verge of 50K subs when the Charlie Kirk thing happened. I've grown by what, like 1.5K subs. Brian didn't lose any videos. Every single video he did, and he got on. Well, I realized what he really wrote on the Candace Owens thing too, because she's been getting crazy views. He was like doing Candace Owens every day and getting like 300,000, 400. So that's part of how he did it. But the point is, you're able to do this now and not get in trouble. And of course, Brian, you know, I was like on my 20th channel by the time High Impact Flicks, when he was at 500,000 subs, got damaged. It's just, the point I'm making is every video he's blaming everything on Israel and Jews. Every video. And incredible growth, incredible views. So that whole phrase you guys have been eating up about, oh, you know, whoever you can't talk about, that's obviously who's running the world. Notice, I from the moment the Charlie Kirk thing broke, I showed how it was all connected with the Pope and the Superior General, and I was right. That's exactly what it's all synced with. And taken down for hate speech. No growth to the channel, even worse views than ever since that happened. Now, but I was averaging like what, 5K views a video when Charlie Kirk happened. Now we're down to about what, 1K views a video. So I'm just making the point about what's going on with YouTube. But yeah, I mean, obviously the Jesuits do have this Schlonger element, if you will. And remember, Schlonger also equals penis. It's a little dick joke here. In the year of the snake on the 14th with the whole 113 thing. So yeah, I just want to remind about how important the 41 was. And 41 is the 13th prime. And 13 years ago, it was the Sandy H place. This time it's Sandy Beaches. And again, exactly 41 weeks after the prime minister's birthday. Sandy H in Connecticut's on the 41st parallel, and Sandy H also equals 41. So you can just see how these world events are interconnected. And remember, out of Sandy H, you did have the people that are like Eli Schlonger, the Posners and whatnot, leading this charge against the First Amendment and getting people banned from online for sharing information. So, I mean, that element is there, but that still isn't who runs the show. That's the flea on the elephant's back. And yeah, just to remind you, the whole premier that's in charge of this, Chris Minns, just another 54. That's the Jesuits, you guys. That's the Jesuits. 88 days after his birthday, he's telling the story about what happened to the poor Jewish people. So here, I think I put remember how we talked about this? How Hanukkah and Australia have this 30 and 141 overlap? And again, the where is it? Where did I put it? The Jewish World Congress ended on the 141st day of the year this year, May 21st, and the shooting was 207 days later, going with Bondi Beach and a number of other things. Hold on. And again, exactly 41 weeks after the prime minister's birthday, which is also 287 days, like New South Wales, Australia is 287. But look at this. Look at this. The first name they put out, Naveed Akram, 41. You see his birthday, August 12th, 2001. Look at how crazy, and see how he lives on Brown Road with the Brown shooting also in the news. And we won't even talk about the expiration date, the anniversary of Lincoln's shooting, but SH 41, 13th prime, 41st parallel. Look how August 12th, his date of birth, is the day leaving 141 days left in the year. And of course, this whole focus on Islam and terrorism really hit a fever pitch with September 11th. He just happened to be born 30 days before September 11th on the day leaving 141 days left in the year. Doesn't his driver's license remind you of the images put out of the passports they found in the rubble after 9/11, where they couldn't find the planes or the black boxes or luggage or bodies or anything, but they found all the terrorist passports? Bernard Carrig was the guy who took credit for that, and he died earlier this year by the numbers. But it doesn't just remind you of those same things. Isn't it just like it? And it's another 141 and 30. And by the way, you see how Art of War in Australia 102, like the father of the Art of War text, the Jesuit priest John Joseph Marie Amiat. The stabbing in London was on 10/2, October 2nd, 74 days before this ritual, when that rabbi's from there, when both London and stabbing equals 74. Like holiday, like killing, like Jewish, like Masonic, like occult, like English, like gematria, like Jesus, like cross, like Messiah, like gospel, like parables. Like Rob Reiner and how he's going to be commemorated on the 74th day of the year at the academies. The day to remember the stabbing of Caesar in Rome, when Roman is 74. Okay, and then there's Larry David and Billy Crystal being seen at Rob Reiner's place after the death. This happened on the second anniversary of Larry David announcing the end of Curb Your Enthusiasm, which was on Jesuit-owned HBO, founded by the Jesuit Dolan. But notice the ritual 201 days from Larry David's upcoming birthday, and he was there with Billy Crystal, whose actual name is William Crystal, 201. And actually, let me just pull out the calculator too to add on to this. William Crystal, 177 and 201. The Jesuit Order, 177 and 201. Robert Reiner, 177. 78 as well, like his age of death. Jesuit, 78. Scottish Rite, 78. They share the Ad Merum Dei Gloriam motto. And don't forget, again, 2 years to the day earlier, Larry David announced the end of Curb Your Enthusiasm. And the episode, right about that same time, the woman just had to show her phone while it was on 201. Catherine Cates had just died. Part of the Seinfeld show, which Larry David created, Jerry Seinfeld, 201. And she died, Catherine Cates. Let me see. I thought I put it here. Seinfeld's another 74 for the record. Oh, yeah. And this was right around the same time the Jewish woman had been stabbed to death in Detroit on Netanyahu's 74th birthday. I remember the image the media put out of just two hugely obese female cops. The image, it was for when that Jewish woman got stabbed, again on Netanyahu's 74th birthday. It was the image put out by the media was just two hugely obese women cops talking to each other at the crime scene. And I just thought, what is that supposed to communicate to the viewer? Again, I don't think it's misogynistic. Again, I'm not one to say that men are greater than women. That's not what I think. I think both sexes have things that they are exponentially better at than the other sex. For the most part, when it comes to women, it's not being protectors and physicality. It's just the opposite, as we all know, right? Two big, fat, obese woman cops. Do those sound like protectors? I mean, if that's what the nation's police force was, every criminal would be out just taking advantage of everything every day. What are some fat women going to do? Some 300-pound women? What are they going to do? So anyway, I just remember that like it was yesterday. This is all around the same time. I remember looking at him and saying, "Well, I mean, what are they trying to tell you there with that shot? Doesn't look like this crime's going to get solved. It's like they're Jesus, can't even get those ladies out of the cafeteria." Anyway, oh yeah, that's right. Seinfeld ended on Israel's Jubilee, its 50th birthday. Talk about a ritual. But hold on, I'm scrolling over this too fast. Though that Catherine Cates who died, I think she died 201 days from the anniversary of Seinfeld's first episode. Oh yeah, it's right there in the title. So yeah, I'm just saying now Larry David being at the scene 201 days from his birthday, that's not suspicious. One of the most successful men in show business, and just another father-son thing. Again, father-son shooters, father-son murder. 11 days before Christmas, Jesus, with the alphabetic order 74, with numerology applied to each letter 11. And wait a minute. Yeah, you know what else? From Rob Reiner's birthday to the stabbing was 283 days later, the 61st prime number. 283 days after his birthday, the 61st prime, and they said they found the body at 3:40 p.m. So all the Jesus numbers are getting hit here. Every Jesus number in the ritual. Remember, cross has the 7434. Church has the 6134. 34 is the ninth Fibonacci number, like sun is in the sun in the sky, which is birthday celebrated on December 25th. Now moved to Jesus' birthday. 1225 has a square root of 35. The Roman spelling for Jesus, Jesus is 35, like Catholics 35, like Holy See's 35, like eyes 35, like you see with your eye, like Genesis 3:5 about the eyes of God, like Jesuitism's 35. Yeah. So again, Rob Reiner's wife, 68, like OJ won the Heisman in 68. I mean, I don't know how many times we can teach about it. Scripted news, scripted sports. Joe Rogan in 2016 talking to Rosie O'Donnell about, have you heard about this gematria thing? It's pretty interesting. We were thinking like we were on the verge of Joe Rogan bringing us on the podcast. Fast forward to 9 years later, he's got Sam Tripoli on, his old wingman, who's had had yours truly on his show 2 times. And Sam Tripoli did give us the ultimate compliment. He said if there was a Mount Rushmore of truth seekers, we might be the first face on there. However, I know he says that all the time now, and he's forgotten about us. He doesn't talk about us anymore. But Sam Tripoli tried to bring up numerology to Joe Rogan. And funny enough, that was on the Jesuit Orders. I think that was the August 15th broadcast, the Jesuit Orders birthday. And Joe Rogan cut him off, and he said, you always go to the bottom of the barrel, Sam. Numerology is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to conspiracies. That's what came out of Joe Rogan's mouth. As Fernando Mendoza wins another Heisman by the numbers on the 74th day of his age, a man who turned 14 the day that OJ was released from jail in Vegas, the day of the Route 91 Harvest Festival, shooting another massive 201 ritual. But yeah, go figure that the Heisman winner has the 74 connection, and then a stabbing in the Brentwood neighborhood with, again, Nicole Brown and that's why Sam Tripoli, if you're out there, I know that they slapped you on the hand and said, don't talk about this information anymore. Don't ever have that Zachary K. Hubbard guy on again, because we're just banned everywhere. Nobody will talk about us like we don't even exist. The algorithms pretty much blanked us out. But my God, I need to be in the room with Joe Rogan when he tells us numerology is the bottom of the barrel when it comes to conspiracies. He's wrong. This is the guy who must think when he goes to the bar that all the stuff at the bottom of the shelf is the best. He's got his world's upside down. He thinks that $1 tequila shot's superior than that thing up there at the top that costs $400 a shot. This is the $400 shot, Joe. And let's never forget that Joe made his debut at UFC 12. I'd love to talk about it with Joe in person. You know, Joe, they've made you a face of the rigged UFC where we've hit 1,000 fights by the numbers and exposed the rituals. Let's talk about you showing up at UFC 12 for your first ever appearance, Joe. Tell me how bottom of the barrel it is. Joe Rogan, welcome to the broadcast for UFC 12. Okay. We got King Richard, and then we got 510, and then I gotta go. Well, what's up, King Richard?
Yo, Zach. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. Can you check the private chat? And I linked like 3 or 4 of my blog posts there. You can bring those up.
Okay.
You can bring on just the first one.
Can you do a screen share? Wouldn't that be easier? I can put them up here though. All right, the father son.
Yeah, go down there. There you go.
Uh-huh.
Notice they're blaming it on they're saying this the kid was supposedly inspired by a group by the name of Islamic State, and look at that, the 41.
Yeah, just another 41. Yeah, exactly. And this goes with how 9/11 happened on a date with 41 numerology, and how Al Qaeda in Saudi Arabia equal 41. And remember that happened 41 days. 9/11 happened 41 days after the ruler of Saudi Arabia at the time, who was the acting ruler, 41 days after his birthday. And then the king, who was still the king, but wasn't, well, it was 179 days after his birthday, the 41st prime. And ironically enough, the day I gave that presentation was recently, and it just happened to be 179 days after Carmelo's 41st birthday as his former Syracuse team fell to 4-1. We're like, look at this. The beauty of this knowledge. You just learn this knowledge, like, oh, damn, there's how it played in college basketball today. Perfect.
For sure.
Anyway.
Yeah, you keep going down there. Notice the details CNN had to point out. They said this guy attended Al Murad Institute. Yeah. Look at that 207.
Yeah, another big 207. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. There's other numbers in there too, but I didn't want to, overload with the numbers. But yeah, 207.
Terrorist attacks also 207. I knew there was a 207 on 9/11. I forgot what it was. That's what it is. It's terrorist attack.
Yeah, terrorist attack. Terrorist attack 207.
And then everything else you hit on with just George Washington dying with Francis Ignatius Neal at his side. Yeah, good.
Yeah, and then you go down. Look at CNN. They had to point out that they arrived in the Philippines on November 1st. That's they leave in 60 days up in the air. That was 43 days before the shooting. Jew equals 43, which is the 14th prime. Of course, shooting on the 14th. And then in the span of 44 days, you run it the other way. Islamic State's 193, the 44th prime.
Yeah.
And November 28th is when they got back to the States, supposedly. They're in Australia. So they leave in 33 days up in the air.
Yeah. Another perfect ritual. Yeah, these are great additions.
Yeah. There's other ones, too. There's another 74. Man, there's all kinds of 74. If you bring up the other post.
Let me pull up your other posts here real quick.
Yeah, I've been busy on the posts. News overload.
All right. Okay, we got this one too.
Yeah. I found that last night. Yeah. I found that last night. That guy's a Christ actor. That guy they've been pointing out there with the gauze on his face. Suppose he survived the attack on October 7th. But this happened. This happened in 2024 in Melbourne, I should say.
Yeah, and 410 all the time, another 41.
Right. 410. And that should remind how O.J. Simpson passed away on 410. But yeah, notice the official title of it, 348.
Yeah, now the 348th day of the year, yeah.
Yeah, and then it came 373 days before this shooting, 74th prime.
Yeah, just like how the chief of police got sworn in 74 days earlier.
Yeah, and suppose he was influenced by this guy named Wissam Haddad, 74. But, yeah, that's per Wikipedia. So.
Yeah, another perfect ritual. Okay, and then we got hold on.
I spelled that guy's name wrong, but yeah, his name's Arson. I even put the picture there. Yeah, this is the guy they had the interview with. Supposedly he survived the October 7th attack, and coincidentally, he just happens to be there at Bondi Beach.
Yeah,
But
just like October 7th looked like a total
there
hoax
he
too.
is. There he is, laughing, smiling as they're painting blood over his face. I mean, obvious actor.
Who got this shot right here?
Somebody sent that to me. I don't know who took that picture.
Yeah, here's how real October 7th was too.
Yeah, yeah. And then I put the picture that's supposed to here at the bottom.
It reminds me when there was the London Bridge attack that one year. It was caught on
Yeah,
camera. A whole group of people
CNN.
doing this, getting painted, changing outfits. The police were
Mhm.
literally changing into costumes to pose as the terrorists. It was all captured on video. All of us who shared that video, we all got the video deleted and suspended. All of us. Why did you? That was before my whole channel got deleted. Wasn't it June 2017? When was that London Bridge shooting? I forget now. London Bridge
It was on
shooting.
June 3rd, wasn't it, or June 4th?
Here,
June
June
3rd.
3rd, 2017. And, terrorist is 63.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Karam Butt.
stuff just
That's
like this, you guys. Everybody captured it. The
yeah.
London police were doing things just like this, and some of them were getting dressed up in the terrorist costumes. It was all captured on video. Again,
Right.
all of us who shared that video, we all got struck, suspended. Some people got deleted all the way that day. I was in suspension. I think I already had it. I think I was in suspension for 2 weeks because of it, and then I ended up getting deleted later that month, June 28th, 2017. So 25 days after this happened was the first time I remember it because it was Elon Musk's birthday. But same thing. I mean, this is why it's annoying that we're in the information age and
Right.
everybody doesn't know what's going on.
Well, they think it's schizophrenia if you point it out. They think it's schizophrenia, mental illness.
Yeah,
You know?
but where's their get back on something like this being captured?
Yeah. And I don't know who took that photo. Like I said, people were sending me that picture, so yeah, and yeah, just come on, man. That shit just looks totally it's obvious it's fake. It's pretty obvious it's fake. But yeah, if you scroll down there, the other guy there, this guy right there, the supposed hero. So yeah, they were emphasizing an absolute massacre 54.
Don't forget Pam Bondi's full name's 54.
Yeah, 54 and 72, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jesuit order.
Yeah, they do have the Templar crosses on their thing on New South Wales, don't they? The Jesuit
Yeah,
Motto Sus Omnum Salvator is also 85.
yeah, it's at
Funny.
the bottom there. Yeah.
Yeah, October 7th had a lot to do with 85. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there's I encourage everybody to watch that. It's an interesting you know what, that video was actually posted on the anniversary of the Port Arthur massacre, funny enough, as they're comparing the shootings or the
It is
massacre.
sickening that this stuff is not getting called out the way it should, man.
Yeah,
Whoever
I
found
feel you.
this photo right here, good on you. God, what mockery.
Yeah. Some
And
people were
that's
saying
what I
it's
say.
AI,
Always
but
know that, listen, the burden of proof's on you if you believe a news story. They don't ever show us proof that any of this stuff ever happened. And keep in mind, they did this on the anniversary of SH on Sandy Beaches
yeah,
when it was people just like this, the Saturday School Klan, that went after people's
right.
First and Second Amendment rights over something there's no proof happened at all. Zero proof.
Oh yeah, man. That got it's crazy because back then you can find the information. You had people back in 2012, 2013 calling that out. Stuff like that. The Boston bombing hoax. And I call these things hoaxes because I mean that's what they are, right? They're a bunch of hoaxes, not real.
Somebody said, look at the car in the background. Are they talking about the one with the big Templar cross on it? Are they talking about the 1668?
That is interesting. I don't know where that fits in. I know 68 is Catholicism equals 68. I'm not sure where that
What
fits
happened
in.
in the year 1668? What were the big events? 1668.
France,
Portugal's
Spain.
independence. Templars got a big history there. I bet there is something about the year 1668.
Yeah, all the media was syndicating that same photo too with the 1668 in the shot. So there is probably something to that. I didn't look at that, but
Yeah, I bet there's something in 1668 because we know everything they do is detailed.
Right. Yeah. It's paying tribute is what it is. Paying tribute to history. So yeah, it's just sick. And it just, just to add on to the other thing before, you go on to the next slide or whatever. That man who died at age 78, Anthony Geary or whatever his name is, however you say it. He died at 78. He began his career with General Hospital in 78. And he also starred in All in the Family alongside Rob Reiner, who's dead at 78. And both those things equal 78. Robert
On the
Reiner
same
and
day, yeah, they did it on the same day.
yeah. But I guess that's all a coincidence. So yeah, some people would call that a coincidence, even though it's not. I mean, come on, man. The same day. Same day. Yo.
My
hear me?
internet went. It just came back.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, cause I was like, you froze. Yeah. But yeah, just all this stuff, and then also the other blog post is it's funny because I was doing research on the supposed shooter, and what came up is
Well,
literally a
when
football.
we're look, I hate when people leave comments like this. We're showing you how fake
Yeah.
the scene is, like with definitive proof of how fake the scene is, and then somebody comes in and leaves this comment.
That guy was saying that he was saying, what does Brown University got to do with the Brown the shooter? It's like, come on.
So he's a troll. Okay.
Yeah. He was saying, what does Brown University got to do with all this? He was
pull your
saying
head out of your ass
shit.
and listen a lot.
Exactly.
These are the psyops of the news right now.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. That's proof right there. The shit was a hoax.
Yeah, and you guys, I was on the scene when they had the mass shooting out here at the Kroger-owned store a couple of years back, documenting the crisis actors in action. I mean, you can see the cameraman would tell them to pose like this, and they take photos. It's just what's going on every day.
Yeah.
Fake news, crisis actors, no proof anything happened, but a story to get some politicians out here and say, well, they got to take away more rights and liberties, and they need even more tax money for this and that. This is how real your Cooties 19 was, too. I get tired of people going, oh, Cooties 19 was real. My grandfather went to the hospital and died. Yeah, that was the problem. He went to the hospital and died. Remember, they got paid for people to die at the hospital. You know who went to the hospital in the time of Cooties 19? Morons. That's who went to the hospital. There was a $30,000 bounty on Grandpa's head if he went there for Cooties 19. All of a sudden, all that had to happen was Grandpa had to die there, put him on the respirator, blow up his lungs, and here comes another $30,000. That's why I hate listening to you morons talk. Look up what Cooties 19 was coined as in 1968. Seasonal flu. Seasonal flu. That's what it was coined as. Seasonal flu. It's 1,000,000% fact. They locked down the world over the seasonal flu. That's why Lester Holt was on TV every night telling you how flu cases were non-existent and Cooties cases were way up. Mockery. And your grandpa and your grandma, they went to the hospital because they're scared and they watched too much TV like you. And they fell right into the trap, and they became a $30,000 meal ticket.
Yeah, another statistic there too for the contrived pandemic. But yeah, it just it is pathetic, man. I mean, you just got these morons just eating this shit up, man. Just eating it up, believing it, not questioning a single thing. But oh yeah, and the other post that pretty sure you brought it up there is the footballer. Put that up there, the footballer one, because that one's come on, man. Literally shares the same name with them. That literally popped up when I typed in Naveed Akram. That literally popped up.
Yeah, he's obviously 41 at the time.
He's 41, but look what he made his debut in the club.
I see the day that thing ended.
14 years to the day. 14 years.
Which means that the other guy's birthday is the reflection date, right? Because that's the 141st day, and the other guy's born on the day, leaving 141 days left in the year. Probably an invented character who's like a clone doppelganger of this guy. Okay.
Yeah. There is more to it, but yeah, I mean, just the same shit. Yeah, 141. Yeah, Hanukkah, Australia, 141. By the way, Melbourne, Australia does equal 207. I forgot to mention that, but yeah, Melbourne, Australia does equal 207.
Yeah, that also adds to it. Yeah.
Yeah, the shooting happened on the 213th day of his age. Yeah, death to it 13. But yeah. And his birthday is the 16th of the 5th month, 16/5. I know you were just talking about that with the Scottish Rite thing. Yeah.
I want to know what it says on this guy's T-shirt. That's what I want to know.
I think it said United States Marines. That's what it said. United States Marines. Because I was watching the news footage of it, and you could see a clear shot of it, and it said United States Marines, which is funny because supposedly he's Jewish. So,
psychological operations teams all over the world. Yeah.
Yep. I believe the person was talking about in the background of that car back there, that black car that's in that shot. I'm not sure. I can't make out what's in the back of that car, but yeah. I mean that right there should just be right there proof that this shit's a obvious hoax. Obvious hoax.
Yeah. For the person who said Ivanka said she's not running in 2028, that's not the point. The point is it's just alluding to the Trump family, right? So we're not saying it's going to be Ivanka. Trump himself said he's going to try to run. So now we're seeing how it's all connected, though, and why they used her.
Yeah, and her name literally equals Lisa Simpson in all ciphers.
Yeah, which equals 47, just like Trump, and it equals Trump's birthday, and on and on and on. And it also equals 70, like how old the Pope is right now.
Right, yeah. Vatican and isn't his middle name Francis too? So Francis 70, Vatican 70.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean there you go. That should just show you. I mean, honestly, you should, like to see through this shit. I mean that just should just be the proof right there. Cement all the proof that you need that this shit is a hoax. For anybody, the naysayers out there want to say, "Oh, you guys think everything's a hoax,"
and we prove our point day after day. That while they don't have any proof of anything, their whole proof is just believing what they see on TV, and that makes them think. That's what's so annoying about the masses. They think people like us have the problem. They sit there and eat the bullshit up all day and never learn and don't question. Again,
right?
They are mentally deficient people. We're talking about really dumb, gullible people.
Well, what do the Jews refer to them as? Dumb goyim?
Yeah,
dumb
not
goy?
even humans.
You know what? And I'll say this about Jewish people. I mean, they're not wrong. I mean, they're not wrong. You know, these people are pretty dumb.
The problem is the thing that's I mean, there's a lot of people that are in their faith that aren't that smart either. Just like that Gimpy guy, he got all butthurt on what I was saying. He got so offended that I said it was fake, likely fake. I said, "Where's any proof anything happened?" He got so hurt, and then he posted the article about the dead rabbi, Rabbi Dickhead Schlonger. Again, it was just this obvious hoax with the encoded 113, the number of deception right from the Talmud.
Well, next time you see Gimpy, right? Next time you interact with Gimpy, just show him that. Just show him that photo right there. And just show him, yeah, is it really legitimate? Is it really legitimate? And Gimpy knows about gematria. He acts stupid like he doesn't know, but Gimpy knows about gematria. Pretty sure all Jews know about gematria.
See, and it makes this guy's U.S. military, we'll assume United States Marine shirt. And again, these people are down for the agenda. They know they're doing an agenda. And at the end of the day, in their mind, they're doing good. Sure, they might be duping the American people through psychological operations, which are units within the military, but they believe in the agenda. They see the purpose. This is going to make the world safer in the end. It's going to make it safer for Jewish people. Right. So he goes out and he plays his part because he's down for the cause. Not to mention, I'm sure he gets a nice check too. So,
yeah, I'm pretty sure he's getting a nice little check, and not even just to mention, not just him, but that other guy. Excuse me, the supposed hero of that event. I mean, I'm pretty sure he's getting a check. So, I'm pretty sure all these people that are a part of this cyber are getting a nice little fat check. So, I mean, why wouldn't you participate? There's a lot of people that would do. There's a lot of people who would do some weird, twisted shit for money. You know what I mean? So, yeah, people would say, "Oh, how can you get all these people? There's too many moving parts. How can they be part of this conspiracy?" I mean, come on, man. It's pretty obvious. You hear people say, "There's too many moving parts, man. They couldn't do this. They couldn't get away with it. It's too much secrecy." I mean, there it is right there. Secrecy. Secret.
And I mean, this stuff's all over the internet too. It's just like, again, when that shooting happened in London, that video was viral and everybody was posting it, and the machine just went through and deleted all of it everywhere because they didn't want that out there. Again, you guys, video proof of cops putting on terrorist costumes, painting each other like this. Some of the video showed the one cop posing dead on the street as a shot down terrorist that supposedly the police killed. All of this was captured, and here we are a decade later, and everyone is still just unknowing of what's going on in the news. You're getting lied to by the authorities every day to build their military police surveillance state. It's just like, see, money controls people, right?
Right.
Sweet Lady had just started working as a pharmacist when Cooties 19 happened. Remember how it was months later that the jab came out for little kids? Because at first they said kids weren't you didn't have to worry about kids. Cooties 19 didn't impact children. That's how they did it first. But then they're like, oh, wait, there's starting to be cases in kids right as the jab became available. Now, they made it seem like they had just rolled out a fresh jab. They didn't. That thing had an expiration date from like 9 months before it even came out, and they were authorized by the CDC to put a new expiration date on it, which means it was an old jab that had been, God knows, in a military warehouse for so long.
Right.
But all of the people who worked in the pharmacies were told not to talk about this. And why don't they talk about it? Because they don't want to go home and then lose their six-figure job.
Yeah, they don't want to lose their job.
This money to get the degree. That's how the whole nation's controlled.
Right.
On TV, you're being told that they just rolled out the jab for children. Then it's shipped in, and there's expiration dates from 9 months before. Back in time, it expired 9 months ago. How is it brand new and just rolled out like it's saying on the news if the thing expired 9 months ago and they're being authorized by the CDC to put a new expiration date on it? And I guarantee you that's 1,000,000% fact for exactly what happened across this nation. I know a lot of other things. There are certain things my wife really doesn't want me to share that she got to witness. Again, you guys, money just controls everybody. That's why I hate when everyone's like, well, how come nobody says anything? Because they're all being fucking controlled. And not to mention when they come out and say something, nobody even takes it seriously. When NFL players come out and say it's all rigged.
Right,
how about
exactly.
Larry Johnson,
NBA players?
the leading rusher in the NFL. Larry Johnson's now doing a podcast every day talking about how rigged the whole damn thing is and even doing gematria decodes.
Right.
Is anyone paying attention to Larry Johnson anymore? No, he's been phased out in the same way I have. That's why I hate listening to people's stupid shit. It's all been exposed. The only reason everybody doesn't know is because they're too damn ignorant and not looking into anything. That's why.
Well, yeah, they're turning into the authorities. And again, it's just like right there. I mean, they're tuning into the same authorities that do this shit to them. Do this shit. And, you just brought up the London Bridge hoax or whatever. Remember, CNN was out there staging the... was it CNN? I have the video on my YouTube channel. I re-uploaded it back from 2017. CNN was staging the supposed protesters. So, I mean, that should just show you how contrived your media is. I mean, it's a Hollywood production is what it is. Well, I wouldn't even say Hollywood production. I'd say it's a B-movie production because this shit's pretty obvious. This shit is pretty obvious that it's a hoax. I mean, this right here is obviously a hoax. And you know what? To me, like me looking at it personally, it looks sloppy. Like it just looks sloppy. But yeah, nobody's gonna catch on to it.
Arson who is this guy?
There you go. He's supposed to survive the October.
It's interesting how they referred it to the Nova Festival because the current Pope went to Nova, as in Villanova. Remember, they had literally a shooting hoax. It was admitted to as being a hoax.
Yeah.
If you guys forgot about this one earlier this year, look at this. Pope Leo Villanova shooting. Hold up.
That was recent too.
August 21st, 2025. Pope Leo 105 and 24.
Yeah, cruel hoax.
This happened 24 days before his September 14th birthday. And it happened 105 days after his installation on May 8th. 105 days after becoming Pope, 24 days before his birthday.
Right,
Pope Leo 105 and 24. He's using multiple ciphers. To make anything line up. Again, what are the odds of it lining up like that? This is like a 1 in a million type of coincidence. May 8th, 2025 to August 21st, 2025. 105 days later, his birthday is September 14th. That's why when we get things line up like that in sports games, it's Lock City. It's like Dallas to win 4-1 last night for a monster payout. We were all over it. Boom.
Right. Yeah, Rick Sports, Rick News, they sync it up together. But
October 7th Survivor, man.
Yeah. And his name literally equals fucking 85. His name literally equals 85. Like, it happened on the 80. They leaving 85 days left in the year. It's like, come on, man. But yeah, I encourage you to check out that. It's a speech that he gave, and it's funny because it was posted on the anniversary of the Port Arthur massacre. It's April 28, 2018 that it was posted. Which I find that
Imagine how much harder it would have been to send $95 billion to Israel on the 201st day of the war if we didn't have the crisis actors and the stories in the headlines. You think the American people would have been as down for sending $95 billion on the 201st day of the war? We don't get it. The Jesuit Order 201, their original mission to counter the 95 Theses, recognized by the church on the day leaving 95 days left in the year.
Right.
Again, we did that. We sent $95 billion over there on the 201st day of the war because supposedly people like Arsene Vosty or whatever his name is, they nearly died that day.
Yeah, with no real proof either. Like, no real proof. I mean, just
that's what's annoying about all the morons who come here and demonize what we're doing. We're doing. You want to call it God's work? This is God's work, exposing the most evil, corrupt shit there ever was. And what's the thanks for it? Our fellow man who would rather listen to the liars every day, calling us mentally ill.
You're schizo. You're schizophrenic. You need to take your meds, bruh.
And then people get all butthurt when I say these people need to be thrown in a wood chipper.
Yeah, they start crying about it, saying, "Oh, you're being too mean to people." It's like, no, these people deserve it.
They need to be thrown in a wood chipper. These people are cannon fodder. Again, they're just all dragging us to hell. We're getting closer to hell every day because all these dumbasses, they can't wake up and see the forest for the trees.
Exactly.
Anyway, Rich, I'm gonna let another person get in here, and then I gotta get back on the grind.
All right, for sure, man. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, great decodes. Thank you.
Thank you.
For the person saying I'd like to call in, isn't it linked at the top of the comments how to join the stream? I mean, didn't I pin it as the top thing to join the stream? What's that? What's up, 510?
Well, the person who said they didn't, whatever, anyways. Yeah, man, it was a false flag. I don't know if you can't get on X at all, like if you're just completely banned, but when it happened, like on the dot, all the videos went live on X, and it's a 10-minute video of just showing the Islamic radicalists, whatever, but just show them just nailing off for 10 minutes straight. And it shows them getting.
So you're taken by the hoax video?
No, I know it's a false flag. No, I'm just saying, like, it's a 10-minute video. No, I was saying it, and then did you see it?
Does it show him shooting anybody?
No, it shows them getting shot. I was about to say at the end of the video, it shows them getting shot and people run up and kicking them and stuff like that. Like actual, like whatever the people like out of nowhere, like they're hiding behind cars and stuff. Like it was actual live like video of everybody. Um, but yeah, whoever got this video, they're in on it. But I'm glad they're with the cause with us because like how you get that close with that like clarity. I already know it's fake, but it's just for the agenda that I've already brought to your attention. But I'm not gonna get into that because it ruffles a couple people's feathers. But it's just part of the agenda. It's false flag. Whoever's against it, y'all idiots, bro. It's like, it's just, I'm gonna say like they're doing a reverse 9/11, but just now, like 40 minutes ago, they just did restrictions on Palestinians for air travel. Did you see that? Like during
the
the
US?
stream? Yeah, restrict entry for many Palestinian travelers. I don't know if that's real or not, but that just happened last 45 minutes. But yeah, it's all just, false flag, yeah. Like I always say, man, when shit hits the fan, just make sure y'all got your reserves, make sure y'all good, y'all, you feel me? So because it's getting closer and closer, and that spiritual warfare is not spiritual warfare here in the physical. And the big J's, the puppet masters, controlling the little J's and the Muslims, that's gonna be, or the Christians or whatever you want to call it, that's gonna be a thing. And you see what the whole world's doing. But yeah, I'm not gonna take up too much time. But yeah, y'all, at the end of the day, as well, let's not, at the end of the day, I still respect everybody in the community. Let's not get that twisted, y'all. Especially in this side of the community. I've been more in the Patreon these days. But it's like I've been in the Patreon for sure. I've just been in the comments, not comments, but I've just been in the back listening to y'all. Just, I mean, well, anyways, yeah, everybody's bright mind, y'all, everybody lit. But yeah, at the end of the day, the warfare is here in the physical, and yeah, this false flag shit is real, y'all. Just you know, people that try to combat this is, there's no point in trying to convince them. The same thing when I was on CT stuff. Like I said, I had your back, and then you try to get on my FBA stuff. I had to shut that down. But yeah, man, thanks for letting me up, Jack. Everybody, just it is what it is, y'all. Let's lock in. Yeah.
All right, appreciate it. King Richard's back real quick. For the other person who was asking to join the stream, I dropped the link if you want to get in here real quick, but I do got to go. What's up, King Richard?
Hey, Zach. Hey, one more thing, because Here, just you remember how we were talking about the driver's license the other day?
Uh-huh.
Okay, measure from his birthday, right? August 12th, 2001. Just measure for it. Measure from that day to the expiration date.
What was
It's
it? April 14th. What year? What was the expiration?
2026. It was 2026. And then put it on the
Their
screen.
their license goes 25 years.
No, his birthday. His birthday.
Where did I put that at?
If not, it's probably in one of my posts. There it is. There it is. You see how it's August 12th? He's born August 12th, 2001, and his birth and the expiration date's 2026,
Yeah,
April
so you're
14th.
saying measure from August 12th, 2001 to April 14th, 2026?
Yeah, it's 9,011 days. Literally.
Yeah. What a ritual.
And he's born the same year of 9/11, like literally a month before.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. 30 days before. Again, like Hanukkah equals 30 and 141. Yeah, 9,011 days. Born right before 9/11. Wow.
Yeah. I had to share that with you because I mean, come on, man, 9/11, and just think about it too, right? You got Jewish people getting attacked, the Middle East. Come on, man. This stuff's laughable, is what it is.
How about the big rose right in the middle, like the Rosicrucians, the rose, the symbol of secrecy?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and as you just showed right now, a big old Knights Templar cross all over the back of the ambulance. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah,
these things are related.
Yeah.
So, all righty, Zach. Hey, thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Nice addition.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, Mr. Know-It-All.
Now, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up?
Nothing much. Were you talking about getting illegals out of the country?
I'm not talking about getting illegals out of the country. I honestly, I'm not worried about all that.
You don't want illegals out of the country?
No, not really, because there's a lot of good ones here that have been living here for a long time, and sure, maybe they should have done their paperwork, but all they've been is contributors to society.
So,
case in point, the man who's been mowing my mom's yard for a decade, he's out of the country. She can't even believe it. He was illegal. He had a family and everything. He's been living here for like 40 years. So no, I don't think this is helping anything. Are things better in America? Or are costs of anything coming down? No. How much it's building the police surveillance state? How much money is being spent by the taxpayers to round up people like this man who's just been mowing people's lawns in the country for 40 years? No, I don't think it's good.
The lawns could be mowed better in America if you could pay $40 instead of $15 to get
This guy been charging my mom $40 an hour. That's what she pays him.
Well, she would have to pay $80 if he was not in the country.
What do you mean?
She would have to pay $80 for American to do it. She can pay illegal $40.
She have to pay a dude $80 an hour to mow the lawn?
If she paying an illegal $40, American gonna require $80.
It's the same. It's not like he has an employer. He just came in and said, "Yeah, listen, that's what it is now. $40 an hour to get your lawn mowed." He's charging the same rate as everybody else.
So you gonna get the money to illegal or American?
Well, at the end of the day, people are people's the way I see it. I'm like John Lennon over here, man. Imagine that you don't believe all this bullshit news and let's get rid of country. Do we even need it? I'm not proud to be an American. I think everyone's proud to be a member of this country is an idiot. What is this country? It's built on slavery, racism, genocide. It's always at war, killing people. It's media lies to people all day. It's government lies to people all day. Trump right now saying, "I'll give you $2,000 if you reelect me again," and realizing that people are dumb as shit, and that $2,000 is going to end up costing them $100,000 over the cost of their life by the time you pay all the interest back on it. No, I'm not about America at all. I'm not. How about let's get rid of government? That's what I'm about.
Okay.
And don't forget the reason there's so many illegals here is because the U.S. destroyed the Mexican economy with NAFTA, and they knew it was going to destroy Mexico's economy. So what are these people supposed to do? You just put us out of business. You put all of us farmers out of business with your shitty political maneuvering that just made money for all the corporations and the people at the top. Where are they supposed to go? Where are they supposed to go? We're the land of opportunity with all the jobs up here. So that was political maneuvering to destroy their economy. And the consequence was they came here. Byron Dorgan called it out in 1992. He said, if you pass NAFTA, you're going to have a lot of people south of the border coming to America because it's going to be the only place to get legitimate work.
Okay.
Here we are.
But listen, we all on Earth together, and we all and we all in America together. So we got to think about America. So we can't have outside people taken from the American people. I
What you just
mean,
said is, you didn't just see how what you just said was a direct contradiction?
how?
Because you just said we're all just people. We are all just people, and then all these things are imaginary. The nation borders drawn up and all this shit. That people fight over all this nonsense that was invented for you to fight over: religion, nation, race, sexuality. All these things from the authorities were made for people to fight over. Again, imagine we don't have a corrupt government that we have to pay all this money to. I'd be so much wealthier if I didn't have to pay so much in taxes. Man, they still, from all of us. They steal so much, and look what they do. They send it over to Ukraine and Israel and to make some bombs to blow up some more people that don't need to get blown up that probably look more like you than anybody else. Again, this is what I'm mad about, not about the poor Mexican guy who used to be a farmer down in his land, but he got destroyed because NAFTA's now set a price rate of corn that nobody can live on except for the corporation that produces a gazillion units of corn per year. So now they had to come up here and probably work for the corporation on the big factory farm, where now at least they can make enough wage. So
But look, still, whatever you pay, if you're gonna pay him $23 an hour, you got to pay American citizen $42 an hour for that same job. So pay the American citizen. Pay the American citizen.
Pay these illegals less than the wage because they know they can get away with it.
So pay the American citizen.
I come to your door to mow your lawn.
Pay the American citizen to mow your lawn, not illegal.
Well, my mom didn't even know he wasn't illegal.
Well, when she find out, she need to change her course of action.
Well, she's going to have to hire somebody else now because she doesn't have the guy to mow the lawn anymore.
Yes, it's easy to find an American citizen to mow your lawn. You're just not going to be able to pay them $15. You're going to have to pay them $46.
Well, she was paying the going rate, like I said. I don't think he was. The
going rate is illegal rate.
$1 to mow your lawn's not bad. I mean, that's. And for all
people out there, American citizen, shop America.
Can't find a job and can't get paid decently, go work for yourself. People are charging $40 an hour to clean houses, to mow your lawn. Anybody can do these things.
Well, if you pay illegal $40, if pay American $80, be a patriot.
All right, Mr. Know-It-All. Appreciate it, man. If you pay somebody $80 an hour to mow your lawn, you're not. I mean, you're being extra generous, but it's probably not good for your own pocket. Pay the going rate. What's up, Mr. Johnson?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
Yeah, what's up?
Listen, I've been watching you since 2020. Now, if you know anything about 2020, they had a show called 2020. An eye-opener.
John Stosswell, right.
Right. So it opens your eyes.
Oh, you weren't watching in 2015. I was telling everybody in 2015, that was my motto. I said, people are going to be seeing clearly by 2020 or else they're blind, because we knew a huge ritual was coming in 2020 because these people work on the 9-year cycles. I was making that same point, and I was saying, think about that year too, man. That year's about seeing 2020, and people didn't see it. They got taken for fools.
Now, let me see if this number could connect with you. My sister turned 49 years old in 2020. And her birthday is January 26th.
Kobe's birthday, the day Kobe died. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is when I fell into your knowledge.
I'm listening.
So on January 26, 2020, Kobe Bryant and his daughter supposedly died on my sister's birthday. I'm trying to call my sister to get in contact with her, but I couldn't reach her. But someone was just walking past me saying him and his daughter died, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And then I look it up on the internet, and it was Kobe Bryant and his daughter. And he was 41, she was 13. So now those numbers go together because the next day I ran into your knowledge was 127. 41. You still there?
Yeah, I just put up a video saying LA's 41-13. Of course, Kobe Bryant's also 41. It's the reason we had Dallas to win 4-1 yesterday. They got their 126th win over the Kings and stayed on 75 losses like Kobe's 75. Go ahead.
Well, I'm in New York. 41 should tell you something about New York. 9/11.
It happened on the 41 date numerology again.
Yes, absolutely. And his daughter was 13.
It's just like this ritual. All these 41s on the shooting 13 years after this thing, right? 41, 13th prime. 41 years later, we're doing the exact same thing. 13 years later, we're doing the same thing.
And when you came to New York, I was there with you. I actually shook your hand that day. And I was so happy to see you that day because you taught me so much. You're like a older brother that I should have had, but you so far away. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm far away.
yeah, you're very far away. You're like 3,000 miles away or some shit. But not even the point. This is the point. Kobe Bryant died on my sister's 49th birthday. And from my mother's birthday to my birthday is 7 weeks and 2 days.
Where are we going with this, though?
I'm showing you how the numbers is always coming together, like you said.
There is an organic side to it, okay?
Yeah, there's a very organic side. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, why would this happen this way? And I really couldn't figure it out until I got in touch with the knowledge that you're sharing. So I'm looking at numbers very differently.
Harrison, you're bringing up the organic side. I'll show you a recent organic story. I shared this with you guys a few years ago. All right. So look at this. The most simple cipher, Buddy equals 56, right? I'm going to put this together. And so does my last name, Hubbard, right? They're both 56. And I told you guys a couple years ago, we had a bird build a nest in our front door and we let it give birth to the babies there. And one day I opened the door and it scared the babies out of the nest and they came out too early and they couldn't fly. So I was trying to get them put back up in the nest. I was putting these little baby birds back up in the nest, but I realized it was terrifying the mother. She was like at the tree barking at me. And every time I'd get one up there, the next one would come flopping out when I put his brother or sibling in. Eventually, I got them all back up in the nest. It took a long time, but it was the first time I had a bird in my hand since I was a child. When I was a child, we found a cockatiel, and we couldn't find its owner, and we named it Buddy. We thought we were going to end up giving it to the owner when we found it, but we never found the owner. But I hadn't had a bird in my hand since I was a child. And, it's funny, while I was doing this that day, my wife, she said, she goes, this whole thing, I don't know, it's making me feel like we should have some children. And I said, well, it sounds all right to me. But anyway, I just had to look at the numbers. I said, how weird is this? This incident with the bird happened to be 56 days before my birthday, right? And then it wasn't much longer after that my wife ended up getting pregnant. And then, anyway, here's the thing. So my daughter, we thought we heard, I still remember what day she said mama for the first time. That was September 3rd. We thought maybe like a month ago, we thought we heard her say dada, but then she never said it again. We're like, maybe that's not what she said that night. But anyway, it was exactly she was born this Saturday, and it was just all she said all night, just all night long. Dad, 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 dad. So exactly.
Wow. Blessings to you.
Daddy's name all night, or I guess not my name, but just dad, 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 dad. And I just thought,
no, it's still a blessing. It's still a blessing.
Sweet lady for the first time say she wants children, and then this with the daughter. So anyway, that's the organic side. It is interesting.
Now, let me share with you. From my birthday is February 7th. From that day to 9/11 is 216 days, or a span of 217 days. So, looking at those numbers from what you taught me about numbers, I'm like, what the hell are the odds? Because I was in Abraham Lincoln High School when those things happened. And you look up Abraham Lincoln, you do that in the gematria calculator, you're gonna get I think it's 216 you get when you do Abraham Lincoln in the gematria. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Fred, I just realized what time it is. I'm already running late. I got to get somewhere. This is interesting, but we're going to have to do a stream someday on the organic side and people can call in. But yeah, life is stranger than fiction.
This is just what's happening, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I'm trying to share with you what is happening organically.
There's definitely organic side. Yeah, you're not going to get an argument from me. But yeah, as they say, life is stranger than fiction. So,
And then my birthday is the 38th day of the year. And then there's so many things with the 38. Look what happened on my 38th birthday. LeBron James scores 38 points, breaking the 38-year-old record. He scores 38 points, breaking a 38-year-old record, which is 38,000 points
right
at the age of 38 on the 38th day of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are the odds of that happening?
Yeah, that is crazy. Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I've been all right, Zach. I'll talk to you later.
All right, appreciate the story, man. You have a good day.
You too.
Okay. All right, here's 818. We call him the golf pro. He saw it. Matsuyama on Hero or Pearl Harbor Day. What's up, 818?
Keep an eye on Bitcoin. Tomorrow will be the 72 days after the top, so maybe potential bottom coming in for Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin and money and Jesuit order, all 72. We see the number. So, okay, 72 days from the top tomorrow. It's had quite the slide, so maybe that's the point down. And who knows, maybe by 72 days after that, we're back up. Okay.
So we'll see how it goes tomorrow, but just wanted to call that out. I know it's something we talked about a while ago. So, yeah, Bitcoin equals 72. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah, for people who forgot, not that long ago in history, we called out. We said Bitcoin's on the way up. Watch, it's probably going to hit 72K on the 72nd day of the year. It did, and it actually went up to 73K that day, and then it went crashing down. And that's why I said once it hits that, I think it's going back down. That might be a good time to get out and get ready to buy when it goes back down. And then it did go back down, and then it went up. What did it go up to? It hit 117K. On July 11th this year. You guys look at these numbers on Bitcoin, man. You don't think this knowledge is showing you how the market, the games, the news, the crypto, it's all rigged and scripted? Bitcoin 117K on the 11th of July. If you missed my work on that, you can go back and watch it. But yeah, we saw the 72 ritual, we saw the 117 ritual. So yeah, maybe something very similar. What could happen by January 17th? Maybe that's something to think about.
Yeah, that's also something to look at. Yep, January 17th.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That's all I got, Zach.
All right. Appreciate it, man.
Later.
He's had a lot of great calls with the PGA using the knowledge. All right. One more and then I'm out of here. What's up, Ghazi?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Uh-huh.
I just want to share with you, if you really think CT is part of like the machine or whatever you want to call it, I got some firepower for you. Since he keeps mentioning Pokemon, Gematria and Pokemon, if you look up the 201st Pokemon, it's actually not just one Pokemon. It's the whole alphabet. Yeah, and look up the letter A for it. It's the Masonic compass.
Is it this beacon thing? I guess this is it.
Yeah, the image you're seeing right there is the letter F. Yeah, there's the A right there. Click that little image in the top left. That's the F. Go to the right. No, close that.
Go back to the thing I was on?
Either one, yeah. I'll point it out. Right there, the little image in the top left. That's the letter A in the for the 201st Pokemon. You see how it's shaped like the compass?
Masonic compass.
It is. That's what I was saying. Originally, there's only 151 Pokemon, but when Generation 2 came out, of course, you get the 201st Pokemon in the next generation, and then of course it's the whole alphabet for a single Pokemon.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe that is this little cryptic joke.
Yeah. One other thing about the Charlie Kirk shooting: if you type in the words "shot from the roof" equals 201.
Shot from the roof.
Yep.
Yeah, 201 and 84
Just
and
like
60. Like
just like the three, all the 3 shootings that went on from the rooftops around that time,
Yeah.
or 2
Yeah.
shootings, 2 or 3. That's all I wanted to share.
All right. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem. Have a good day.
All right. Yeah, you too, man. Nice research. All right, guys. Thanks again to everyone who hit the like and the share. Thank you to Jeremy Dorset with 2 super chats. And yeah, appreciate it, man. It is very time consuming. All those posts I went through, probably about 10 hours of work. So appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, guys. We'll leave it there for now. And until next time. And actually, I do want to say one more thing before I get out of here. For the crybaby troll who's been screen recording for now over a decade and just like trying to make videos to make me look bad, it's just so dishonest what you do, how you clip things out of context. Again, he tries to make this argument that, I've done very well for myself with this knowledge and I didn't follow through on building the Gematria Effect News Network. You know why? Because I haven't made any money from doing the news thing, which I'd like to do. I've made the money from doing the sports thing, which isn't what that is about. I've asked people to support the books and to support the work to build the news thing. That hasn't happened. Nobody cares about that. As evidenced, here's 10 hours of work and a nice long stream, and we made $10 before YouTube takes 40%, $6. That doesn't build a Gematria Effect News Network. The sports thing is not what I said. I didn't say, if I can build up the sports thing, that all this is going to happen. That's not the way it is. People don't support the work that is more important. Look at all that was exposed in this live stream. Did anyone give a shit? If my troll does a video right now making fun of this stream, he's going to make $100 in the first 5 minutes of that stream. That's the world we live in. If you want to see the Gematria Effect News Studio, how about make a YouTube channel highlighting all the amazing things we've done here, all the amazing calls, all the life-saving knowledge, all the exact predictions that were right on the money, all the things exposed, the recurring patterns. That if you really want to see Gematria Effect News, dipshit, do something to help, not sit there like a little troll, which we all know what you are. Look at how Zach didn't follow through on this thing that he said way back in 2018 that I don't even bring up anymore because it wasn't going to happen. What happened when I went on a cross-country trip from Seattle to New York gathering the truth seekers? I lost a lot of money and a lot of support fell off on the Patreon because I didn't do sports that week for the 2 weeks. That's where the money is, doing sports. If the money was in doing news, you'd have a point, but there's not. So anyway, I do want to address that as well. All right, until next time.